Will Angela Rayner be failing?
Not good right now, and I think it's a great shame for her, and it's a great shame for the party, and it's a shame for politics. Look, what she did was wrong, and she absolutely had to go. But I think what a lot of people feel is that politics is pretty beige or grey, however you want to look at it. And she stood out as a very sort of technicolor politician. You know, she's this incredible backstory. She's got that grit under her fingernails. She's got this sort of life history. You know, you couldn't make it up. It's like, who would play Angela Rayner in the film of her life? And I feel that lots of people in the party are quite cross with her because she's gone, because she did represent a sort of an emotional connection that sometimes people feel the party is lacking. But I agree with the analysis you've put forward. Look, there's no way of sweetening the pill. Like, this isn't a great day for the Labour Party or for the government. But what I think we have seen is a sharpening up of the operation at number 10. From a media management point of view, tonight's story as we head into tomorrow's news cycle is about this reshuffle instead of just going over the Angela Rayner obituary.
If you just stuck one person back into housing and said that's the end of it for now.
And I think the two appointments that stand out to me the most, if you want to pick two stories that will follow as a consequence of this reshuffle, absolutely immigration is one of them. And I think the big battle ahead for the Labour Party is around the European Convention on Human Rights and the Refugee Convention. Does Shabana Mahmood lead the charge in a sort of Labour way of doing this? Does she go off into Europe and say with other leaders, right, we have got to sort of reform this to be progressive? So I think that's the number one thing. The second thing with Pat McFadden moving to DWP, a beefed up DWP, is I think that signals that welfare reform is going to come back onto the agenda.
The thing is, though, Fraser, this is not a reshuffle the Prime Minister wanted. On Monday, number 10 sources were saying explicitly there were going to be no change to the Cabinet. Next week there might have been a junior reshuffle of ministers. So to go from the Cabinet's absolutely great, losing one person, then shaking everything up, it's a big, bold move.
Yeah, so we were told on Monday we had a phase 2, which didn't look like a phase 2, but now he said phase 2 thrust upon him. If you look at the changes he's made, this is obviously, whether he wants it or not, a directive to change it. I mean, like Shabana Mahmood, for example, she doesn't live very long, but she could be the one who says, okay, the ECHR is a bit of a red herring, but let's tear up the Refugee Convention. We're hearing lots of voices now, David Blunkett, Jack Straw, Charlie Faulkner, Ken MacDonald, all of them saying that the laws need to fundamentally change. She could be the person who runs with that momentum and does it. And in welfare reform, Pat McFadden, of course, the Liz Kendall experiment was a disaster in the end, but he'll hopefully have learned from that and worked out that the way you do this is not a head-on confrontation with the backbenches. You can reform welfare very radically without changing any laws at all, just changing the marching orders